This advisor is the one that updates.
There's no point mulling over the past. At least that's one thing Metamorph has right.
Thank you. Weapon upgrades. This one,
You were created to
like
be the Chimera's
grenades,
protector.
that sort of thing.
Do not
Mods,
by the will
upgrades.
of the Chimera.
Here is the first one we need to look at for building. This one makes your guards. The different types of creepy people that you can populate your dungeon
I've
with.
seen what desperation does to people. You need discipline if you're going to stay sane.
Okay. And here's what we've got. We've got 4 different types. We've got the cannon back that shoots cannonballs that explode. The enforcer, your basic guy that shoots. The hornet flies, shoots. Warmonger does not shoot, is a big giant guy with swords for hands, beats the crap out of people. So you're not going to have all of these from the start. You're going to need to pay to unlock them. So you're going to need the 3 currencies up above. The cells, the something, and the other. The red, the blue, and the gold. Let's just call them that. So ideally, you want to at least unlock all these 4 types. So a couple of them, I have an augmentation on them, which can be added to them. They don't default have the one when you're building it. You have to give it to them, but you need to unlock them first. And the one that I have unlocked, because I'm a nasty person, is the one where they explode after you kill them. Because you're trying to catch people out, right? So I have 2 of them that do that. The Warmonger is also will explode. But there are other options. I'm not going to detail all the different augments of all of them, but that's one you're going to need. Up here, your suit. You don't need to worry about now. For here, the other one, this is the one that sells
Seems
all the
longer
traps.
we all work together, the further apart we grow. Maybe we've lost hope.
No. So there are 9 different types of traps so far. And each of them have modifications on them as well. And ideally, you're going to want to unlock all of these. This one, Hollow Cube, we'll see coming up, and the Corrosive Cube is really good as well. Because these are, Corrosive Cube and Hollow Cube are also very inexpensive to place. So you can use them to good advantage. And they all have mods on them as well that you can add. And again, the mod isn't on it by default. You place the trap, and then if you want to put a mod on, you can, and you have to pay more for that. But these are the 2 places. You want to get these all unlocked. Now, the levels, don't let that fool you. Don't think you're going to get more stuff or you're not going to be able to unlock stuff until you get higher levels. All the levels do is increase the duration of the boost they sell. So, not important. If this one's at level 17, I don't have anything at level 17 that you wouldn't have at level 1, except for a longer duration on the boost. So don't worry about that. And I have that, the exclamation mark in the skull, because it's telling me there's a report of people that have died in your dungeons. I have 3 right now. 2 were active last night. If we go over to build, all of them have been depleted. You see Alamo, 4 people. Armenia killed 8. None in Damon. Damon's not very popular for some reason. Armenia is very popular, as you see by the number of ratings we have down at the bottom, and the number of raid attempts. And we're still at a 2-to-1 kill ratio. And we can prestige that again. We're not going to worry about that yet, because we're going to go to building. So, now, if you, one other thing, because this is related to the dungeons, if you want to see what happened in your dungeon, you can go over to this one here. If you're looking at the command center, turn to your left, and it's these screens right here, and you click on this, give it a second, and it will show you all of the raids on your dungeons. Not only that, you can also switch it to My Raids, and you can look at all the ones you did. Andrew and I were doing a bunch last night. And I also did some solo. And these stay here until there's an update, but you can also hold down triangle to delete them. So the good thing about this is you can go through these and you can, okay, we can take a look at Armenia. You know, we've seen 4 deaths, 5 deaths. Okay, so one more thing I'm going to show you before we get into the build. From your raids you have, let's go to Armenia. And everyone that dies in there, they leave a little token every time they die. This was in the build tutorial, but it wasn't explained very well. So right now there are 14 new death tokens in here. So there have been 14 deaths since the last time I checked this. And you just go walk in, and you can see them all highlighted in there, showing where all the new ones are. And it will tell you who it was and how they died. Bomb ejector. Excellent. That's a new addition I just added. And you also see there's materials that you can collect that they've dropped when they die. And so you need to get your little dot, your cursor point, your point of interest on them to clear them. You notice how it says 11. Now I go to this one. And I pick up the stuff. And again, it's telling me who it was and how they died. QCKO 7. Bolt shot. Right there. Okay, and you see there's more stuff to pick up. And I want to pick it up. Now see how it says there are 11 new. When I bring my cursor over onto this one, now it says there are 10 that I'm still to look at. And you don't want to go through and get it. Because killed by bolt shot. Bomb ejector. So that's enough of that. So you can see how that is done. I won't go through all of this and spoil the current state of Armenia for you. Because this one is very popular, as I said. I'm hoping this one gets to be a champion dungeon. So open your command center, go over to build. That it shows you the ones you have, and you can see you can own 200. You can have lots of these. You don't have 5 active at a time. But what we're interested in is down at the bottom, the square, claim new burial site. So push square. And this will show you the ones that are on offer right now. If you don't like any of them, you can push refresh, hold down triangle, spend 75 gold to do it. We don't need to do that. So we're going to look for something maybe around 1,000 to 1,500, or maybe 2,000. So you see up top, the one that says, it shows the little square and capacity. That's how much stuff you can put in it. And then down in the middle of the picture, it shows you what it's going to cost. And I've got 2,100 gold. So basically we can buy anything in here. The other thing you need to see is down at the bottom, it tells you what type of gen mat that dungeon is going to offer. So up here at the top, it says name, and then that 3 squares shows you the size of it. And then below that is capacity, how many units you can put in it, etc. So let's go for one not 750 is too little. So let's go with Ages Brookside. You don't get to pick the names. The name is just set for you, and it's going to cost 775. And we're going to hold down X. You see how the X down at the bottom right has got the little arrow pointing down to it. It means you got to hold down to do it. So we're going to spend 75 to buy Ages Brookside. Okay, that site is now claimed. So I'm going to give you a tutorial. I'm going to give you some things how I do it. Feel free to not do it like this. This is just how I've been building it. But I'd like to say, Amini is really popular. So, and again, you see the build with the X has the arrow pointing down. So to build, you need to hold down X on it. So we'll hold down X and we'll go there, and it's going to take us to our building site. Here we are at the building site. And you can see right now it is level 1, has not been prestige. It's level 1 is how they all start. And it's showing me I have a brick that I'm planning it's where you're going to place a brick. The good thing about this, it's orthogonal, meaning everything is on a grid square. You don't have to worry about stuff is going to be kind of misaligned. It's all going to line up. Second thing you need to be aware of, none of these are structural in the sense that if I want to put a block there, that's fine. Nothing has to be attached to it to put that block there. You don't have to build a structure to put a block somewhere. Okay. So the next thing, you see this little cube monkey here is walking along this yellow path. It's showing that by default, this thing has set up a path to the gen map. This is right there. But we don't want that, because first of all, it's way too simple. And That's not how we don't want to do that. We don't want to do it. So what we're going to do is completely get rid of all that. I'm going to push the touchpad, center of the button, boom, which will bring up the build menu. Now you see the most important thing is right there. It says strip outpost. And I'm going to hold, see it's got the point down, say it's a hold button. I'm going to hold this down, and then it's going to verify. Are you sure you want to do this? Because we can't undo it. And I say yes. So now, the first thing is, two things. First of all those bricks are gone. So there's nothing in our dungeon. All these ones here, you can't do anything about. Every site comes with a bunch of random gobbledygook all over the place. You can't do anything about that. So don't be saying, oh, I want to delete this. You can't. The ones that are this gray basalt looking stuff, they're there. The other thing, now the sad little monkey, cube monkey, his path is red because he no longer has a path to Degen Mat. And he's sad about that, so his path is red. Don't care, we'll get there eventually. Now, before we start building anything, there's something we want to locate. And to fly around instead of walk around, you double tap X. Now I can fly. And X brings me up, square brings me down. So we want to find the sacrificial thing right here. So this, if you don't know, and they don't tell you in the tutorial, this here drops a lot of supplies. There's a tip in the thing about using this as a distraction, but they don't really explain it in the build menu. Anyway, this here, everybody wants. And you want to include it in your dungeon because it's extra stuff, and it's a great place to set up a trap that will drag them to it and bring them in to funnel them into your death zone. So, we're going to use this as part of it. So I'm going to push the touchpad to get the build menu. And let's explain these at the top. Okay, right now we're in the blocks. These are all the different block sets. For now, April 18th, 4 days from now, they're releasing a new block set. So there'll be 2 more blocks in there. It's Hellscape or Hell Inferno, something like that. You can check the roadmap. It's available from the game page. You can find that. And it's going to release 2 new blocks, stickers and props, etc. It's going to all come out of it. So the next one over, these are the block building. The next one over, pushing R1 to move over, are the traps. And you see I've got all the traps unlocked. You want help. And this is the cost in cubes to put one down. So you see, like saying, the hollow cube only costs 10, and the acid is only 15. So those two combined for 25 can make really decent traps for half the price of these. Right, one of those, right? And so these are all the different types of traps, and I have some augments for them, but we'll worry about that. And the next one over, these are your different types of guards. And again, you want to unlock all of these to be able to have the options in your dungeon. The next one over is stickers. They call it stickers, decals, whatever. It's basically paint. So if I decide that I want a red floor, I can confirm that, and I can put it anywhere and decide, yeah, I want it red now instead, right? Yeah, obviously you can't paint over any dungeon item, so it's not letting me paint over the woobity woobity woobity. Can't paint over that. I can paint over the others. And if you decide you don't like it, look at the paint and push L1 and it picks it back up. Everything L1 picks up the last thing on that block here. Okay, skip out away from that guy. He's really noisy. Okay, over the build menu. The next one are the props. These are like stickers, like the decals, only they're different. Now you can't put a decal, or a prop on top of a trap, but you can put it anywhere else. So now say I decided I want to make my floor not have these annoying pipes and everything. If you put down the prop instead, it gets rid of that. See, so now I've got rid of that texture, and I said, now I want this instead. So that's how you do that, and you have the option of all of these different ones. And then again, they can be put, like the decals, they can put on any surface. So you can put them in any orientation you want. And again, to get rid of them, I just look at it, push L1, and it will pick it back up. Okay, so now you know the 3 things that we need to know about in the dungeon. We need to know the gen mat, which they do explain. We need to know this fresh special thingy here, and we need to know where the entrance is. So, what are the rules? 2. There are 2 rules that the game imposes on this. That's all they say. You have to have a path from here to the gen mat. It doesn't have to be a short line path straight in. You can lead them all the way around and up and down as long as path. There has to be an actual path from the start to the gen mat that you can walk to. So that even if you have a player who's brand new and doesn't know how to play the game, they don't have to be able to jump and do the grappling hook and double jump and all that. They can just walk through your dungeon. This is one of the 2 things. The other one is going to require you to have a certain amount of defenses in to make your dungeon at least a normal challenge. And you'll see over on the right up there, Harvester Path and Minimum Defense are both X. I don't have either one of those yet. So now, let's start building some stuff. Okay, first thing, this is how I do it, just because I find it easier for me to figure out, because it's very 3-dimensional, right? So I try to figure out what I'm doing. Okay, so I know we want a room here. So I'm going to go to the build menu and I'm going to use this floor tile just because I like it. And I'm going to put floor tiles down, planning out right now my room. You don't have to do it like this. Do it however you want, but this is how I do it to keep it straight in my mind when I'm adding the other things. So we want a floor space basically like that. And we're going to want to connect this to everything else. And then we've got, let's double X, get the flying. Now this is a really nice one, like this for being evil, because you see there is no floor around that at all. It's just hovering in the air, which means we can make some really good drop away traps. So I've got an idea. I've already got a good idea. I didn't know this in advance. Didn't know how this one was going to be. So all of a sudden, looking at the terrain, I'm sort of developing the ideas of how my dungeon's going to go. So we have to have a path to the little dude. That's a given. So I think we're going to put it out the back. So I'm going to go push the touchpad, go to the build menu again. L1 all the way over to the bricks. And I'm going to use this just nondescript gray stone because I am. You can use whatever you want. Now, I want to put it right beside the gen mat. And you see it's way down there. Well, how do I get it? I can back around, jockey this way, and try and get it. But you'll see up top it shows you up and down on the D-pad, do things. If I start pulling down on the D-pad, you'll see the things is 29 meters, 27 meters. It starts pulling the block closer. So if I start pulling the block closer, it goes where I want it without me having to move. And again, R2 places it. Now what if I don't want to place just one? Okay, I'm going to push down R3 to undo that. What if I want to place a bunch of them in a row? I know I want to do a line straight over to there. Okay, well I'm going to get closer. And I'm going to bring the block closer so it does it. Now, instead of just pushing R2, I'm going to hold R2, and I'm going to slide along. And it starts extending. So now if I let go, it builds all of those at once. And now I've got a walkway out there. So I think that's going to be good. That's going to be a good, long approach. And, other end right there, I'm thinking flamethrower. They're coming right here. Okay, so now, we've got some other things we can do. I like the idea of the floor disappearing. You can't do it on all because there has to be, like I said, there has to be for the cube monkey a path for him to get here. So we've got to leave one. But if we go over to the build menu, R1 over to traps, and pick the hollow cubes now. And let's make a substantial room. Make this a real killing field in here. So I'm going to put these out. Because you don't have to build all your blocks first. You can put blocks and traps and everything in any order you want. Okay. So there we have basically a floor that's not going to be there. So I'm going to double tap X again to walk because it's just easier to walk over to these. Now, if I go over to the trap mods, I have the option to set this. I have two things unlocked. I have Second Wave and I have Masquerade. So what second wave does is make this block is going to be a solid block. It will look just like a regular basalt block. It will act like a regular basalt block until the gen mat is stolen. So I'm going to turn that on for sure. And see, it checks it off and shows you have 2 slots, and you'll see up in the right corner, it shows that symbol, and that symbol is indicating this will be solid until the second wave. You see how up over second wave, it's got the same symbol up there? So you can just look at your blocks and see what's set on anything. So I'm going to set all of these to be second wave. You notice, see, it's actually on the block itself, you can see. Okay, we're going to continue. I'm going to make that for all of these, so that all of them are solid until the end. But now, for you, they're not solid. So don't think when I've set this on all of these. So there, now this is going to be just a regular floor. I've set it all on them. They're going to be good till the second time. I can walk them. Ah! No, I can't. Because they're only solid when it's the dungeon, not when you're demoing it. Okay, so let's go. Land right here. Okay, now we want to see, feel free to test all the time. We want to see if that works. So I'm going to push the options button. There we go, back. I don't know why the headset's kind of... So it's a, you don't have valid, blah, 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 blah. Shush, I'm testing. So we've got back right there, circle. Square is test from here. And if I hold down square, because it's got the little arrow, hold down square, it'll test from the start. I want to test from here, so I just hit square. And then it goes through this thing here. Now, see? They're just regular blocks. They don't look anything normal. I can walk on them. They're just regular blocks. It's just a regular room. Everything is perfectly... But when I grab the gen... Come on, headset. Take a look. All these. See how they now have... If I step on it now, it disappears and I fall through the floor. And then if you're done testing, push option, hit triangle, and it takes us back to building. Okay, so that works exactly how we want it to. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the build menu. I don't know why it defaults to a different brick than the one I was using. Go ahead. Now I'm going to build this, turn this room into a room. And again, I'm going to pull the brick a little closer so I don't have to be flying all over the place. And I'm just going to start laying them down. I know I showed you how to do it by extending the wall. Sometimes it's easier to just do them one at a time. Pull it closer. Closer. Thank you. Okay, now, remember, these are not structural. So to make this wall go, I don't need to put a block there. And you only have so many blocks you can put in an area, so don't put down a block you don't need. If it's not needed to keep, make the wall solid, don't put it in. So I don't need to put a block in that corner. I just need to put a block there, and there, and there, and there. Now, I want to close this in to make it just narrow one. Well, I put a block in there I could put a block like that. Yeah, sure, to be square. But I don't know if I want to do that. So let's get rid of that. Using L1 to just remove the block that you're looking at. Now, I want to change the shape of it. Okay. I believe they tell you this part in their tutorial. If I push triangle, it changes it to this shape or to this shape. Okay, we want to do... Now, what they don't tell you, and nothing on this screen tells you, how do I rotate that? I need it to turn so it's on an angle, from that corner over to here. Doesn't do that. If I hold down L2, it shouldn't say more on L2, it should say rotate, because that's all it is. The rotations. Now it's showing you that if I push left and right, it'll spin it around that way. Push up and down, it'll flip it that way. So there. Okay, now, I can do the same there. Again, hold down L2, rotate it, R2 to push it down, double tap X to go in and look. So now we have, it's just kind of a little more aesthetic. But we need to fill in those holes, because we don't want people to drop through the floor. We don't want people getting in parts of our dungeon we don't want them to get to. Always remember to fill in all your holes. Because people will try and sneak around. I've watched replays. See the first people do. They run around to the back and see if I've left a hole for them anywhere to sneak into the dungeon to get some information ahead of time. No, no, no. Fill in all your holes. So you see, we've got a triangle hole down there. Now, we can either flip this triangle around, like so, and it will fill in the hole. Or we can just do a regular block. It doesn't cost any more or less to do a different shape. So I'm going to do that because I want to build below this. So I think I want to have whole ones. But now there we have a room around that. Like I said, you don't have to build it in any order. And I did say that we should probably put a flamethrower in there. So let's go over. Sorry, do that right. Push touchpad to get build menu. Then R1 and L1 to shift to the different types. Okay, we want the trap. We want the flamethrower. The incinerator. Let's put that right there. And again, to place anything, it is R2. And I have some trap mods. Well, let us make it. So I have the option to hide it until they steal the gen mat. And we have the option to make it increase the detection range and the range of its flames. So I think we're going to use both. And I'll tell you why. So it only has 2 slots, so you can only use 2 of your mods. So we're going to turn on longer range, and we're going to turn on second wave. So, when you come in here, and this jump, everything is going to look, there's not going to be anything there, it looks fine. Everything is perfectly floor, everything, so you're going to grab this, you grab the gen mat, then that's going to activate, and its flame is going to reach all the way to here. So, if you're on this walkway, you're getting flamed. So what are you going to do? You're going to try and get out of the way of it. Go to the left or right. Those floors all disappear. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at how that goes. Again, you design your traps however you want. I'm just showing you how to do one of the main things you want to think of in this game. Misdirection. That's how you get good traps. You want to have them see something. See, that's the thing. Even better, sometimes make a really obvious trap. Ha, look, I see your bolt trap right there. I'm going to disable that. It's the traps from the side that they don't see that are the ones you want. While they're looking at that one. Misdirection. Give them something to look at so they're not looking at where the other traps are. I'm going to show you a little more about that in just a minute. But right now, let's test from here. Let's get back as far as we can, just so I don't get flamed. And go to this is the options button, and just put square test from here. I just want to see how this is. Okay, so, again, we go in there. Perfectly normal room. It looks wonderfully safe. Look, I can walk around the whole room. I'm not stressed at all. It's like, oh, thank God I got through the traps. This room is easy. I guess they ran out of cube space to put any traps in. It's all fine. No one believes that. Everyone is now super stressed in this room because what? There's nothing. What? What's going to happen when I grab the gen mat? Well, let's see what's going to happen when I grab the gen mat. I grab it immediately. Oh God! Flames! Oh, what do I do? Ah! Dodge! Oh no! So that works. That's perfectly. You see that flame, you panic. Oh, I'm going to get burned. Let's get to the side and avoid it. And down through the floor we go. Okay, so now we got 2 different options here when we come into this room. Again, this is the gen mat room. We want to make this one something they're going to have to pay to get. The more times we can kill them, the better, right? That's the idea. We don't want them to get the gen mat. Thematically, we want them to die, not get the gen mat. So that's the whole idea of this room. That's what's supposed to be going on. Where really, we just want to make fun traps. Now, when you come in, everybody's always looking like this. They're looking at the sides, they're looking thin, they're looking up to see where everything is. So, let's put a roof on this first, and then we'll modify it some to make things more dangerous on top. Go to the build menu again. I'm using this brick. That's the one I want. So, yeah, pull it a little more towards me. There we go. And again, only put blocks where you need them. So I don't need one on top of the gen mat because they can't get through it, so there's no sense putting a block there. Don't waste blocks. Okay, so we're just doing regular... Oops. Now see, if I put a block in the wrong place, I can just hit R3, and it removes the last thing I did. So if I made an oops, I can un-oops. It's only one deep, though. So if I go like, and I wanted to get rid of that bottom one, if I push R3, it'll remove the last one I did. If I push R3 again, it'll put it back. So if you want to remove blocks that you've done before, you're going to have to push L1 to do it. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And there. Okay. Drop down. So now we got a really nice, just simple room. I mean, it's not nearly so simple as they think, but it's just a simple room. So now, right here, they're going to grab the gen mat. So they're going to come up to here. So let's go to that wall right there and remove it. Okay. Double tap X to become flying again. So where that wall is, let's do this. Put this 2 deep. And we're going to make it so it's just like a little side hallway sticking off. And again, I'm not using any blocks that I don't need. Just enough to fill in the space. Okay. So what are we going to do with that? Well, there are several different options. Like we can put a trap down there. We can put, okay. So what I think I'm going to do, because this is a really tight room, and what you don't want in this tight room is one of those sword guys come running out hacking at you. That would be horrible in this tiny space, right? So let's put one in. So go touch the touchpad, build menu, go over to the guards, and let's get this Warmonger Bruiser here. See, he costs 50 cubes to put in. So I'm going to select him, and I got to pick him there, and notice he's facing that way. Now the same rotation applies. If he was facing the wrong way, I could hold down L2 and rotate and turn the way he is facing. Okay, and then I'm going to push R2 to put him down. And now he's there. Okay, so we want to make sure he comes out. So you see I have 2 options. I have guard augments and record guard patrol. First we'll go to the augments. Because I'm a nasty SOB, I'm going to turn on that he explodes when you kill him. And you see you've got a little thing indicated there. You take it off again, it doesn't. So that one thing there shows you he's going to blow up. So also the players can see that. If they're paying attention and not running in panic from this guy, they can see he's going to blow up. So there we go, that's good. And I'll push circle to get out of that. Now, I want to make sure he comes out to harass them. So I'm going to record the guard patrol. So I'm going to hold down X, just hold down square. Sorry, see up there, showing a square with an arrow above it, meaning I got to hold it down. And now it's going to show you his point of view. And I want him to come out here, run around back. Oops. That's the problem. He can't go through the floor. So what we're going to do is instead of record the guard patrol, fly. Fly! See, that's a really good trap because it keeps getting me. Up. There we go. Okay, so for right now... Actually, you know what? Let's just have him record guard patrol. Okay, am I flying? Or is he going to fall again? I think he's going to fall because he walks, which he wouldn't. So I'm just going to have him come this far forward. And I'm going to say complete, auto-complete control. Okay, now if we watch him, he just stumbles forward a bit and stands there. And then he should go back. Yep. Looks around. See, it's doing exactly what I did. And then he goes back. So I just want him to, you know, maybe let's record that again. Because that's kind of, now I know I'm just going to do it. And anytime you want, you can re-record. Just hold down square again. Okay, I just want him to go la 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 la. And then autocomplete. Okay, now we watch him. He comes out and turns around and goes back. Comes out, turns, goes back. I was like, that's kind of lame. They're just going to come in and see him and shoot him, right? It's not going to surprise them at all. Next step, go to the build menu, go back over to traps, take a hollow cube, confirm, and put it right there. Boom. Now, see, he's coming forward and going back into the holocube. We don't want that. So let's go over to the holocube, trap mods, and I happen to have set up detection masquerade. So I turn this on. Now that acts like a normal block. He will not walk through it until it disappears. So let's see. Again, you test this to see how this stuff works. Double tap X to get down there. Options, square. Test from here. So you always want to see that your traps work the way you want them to. Okay. Kind of two giveaways. We can hear him, even though we can't see him. We can hear him grunting away, and you can see that thing shimmying. So I go, what's it going to do? Okay, maybe I'll go here. Just avoid it. Because you got to be close to this. And there we go. Boom! Just because his patrol doesn't say come and kill you, doesn't mean he won't. Oh! Now, you could say, well, that's a bad thing. He just fell through the floor. And he's not drunk. So what it does mean is he just fell through the floor. If they fall through the floor, they're going to trapped in a room down here with an exploding warmonger. He did blow up when he fell. He took fall damage, he blew up. Okay, that's all we wanted to know. That works how we want it to work. So that's pretty good. But now these are the not obvious traps. Okay, so let's get rid of this block right here. Double tap, fly up. And let's just put a block up here, up top. Come on, get up. See, this is why I like to pull them closer so they go where I want them. Boom. That's not right. Why? I don't know why it defaults to a different block than the one you had selected. Build menu. This one is the one we're using. Thank you. You don't have to be uniform at all. There's nothing saying you have to. You can use all the sets at once. There. I think it's more just to help you be on brand or whatever. So, down. Okay, now we've got a hole there. Didn't I could swear I put a block on top of that. I must have put it on top of the gen mat. Put it on top of the wrong one. I did. We don't need it there. We need it there. Up there. Sorry about that. That happens. Because everything looks the same. So, well, what are we going to do with this? Well, let's start with a trap. I think bolt shot would be good. Actually, no. Bolt shot is one single down. It only gets one person. Let's get everybody. Let's put a bomb ejector up there. Put that down. And we can have it second wave. No. Second wave is the drop floor. We don't want that for second wave. But we don't want them to see it. At least it's the trap works well. Okay, now let's drop down. So the big thing is, if your trap gets seen, they come in, they look up, they see it, they shoot it. It doesn't get a chance to go off. If we go back to the build menu, into the traps, go to the holograms, put a holocube in front of it. Now you can't see it. And holograms are not super easy to spot. There'll be a slight waver. You could see there's a slight waver, but what are you going to do? You can't shoot it to get rid of it. You have to cross in front of it to make it disappear. When you cross in front of it, it's going to activate the bomb. So if you've got a quick reflexes, you might get that bomb. Like, this is all doable. This is not an impossible room by any stretch. Okay, now let's put a couple more. Let's do a couple bolt shots in the doorway here. So, touchpad for build menu, traps. Let's go with bolt shot for sure now. And we'll put one there. And we'll put one there. Those are, as I said, those are our obvious traps. You come in, you see them. You fire them out. If you don't see them, if you see the gen mat and you run right in, you're going to get hit in a crossfire, and that's not going to be good. But there's our obvious traps. We see them. Okay, good. I got them. I cleared it. This room, now it's safe. Because we don't see that, We don't see the floor. We might see this. Cross in front of him. He comes out, he's going to beat on us. Or we just grab the gen... We'll grab the gen out and see what happens. Maybe we're running. But that means if we're running past this, we're falling through the floor. Okay, so we got that part done. So obviously this is my main trap room right here. So we're spending the most time on it. So now, let's be flying. Push the build menu back, push L1, get back on the cube we were using. Now let's go down here and build our room of doom. So first thing I want to do is I want to enclose all of that to get us an idea of where the room's going to be. So one thing we got to keep in mind is that Buddy Boy's going to fall through the floor and maybe explode. So now I'm just going to extend all these down to make a room down there. And I'm not going to make a way for you to get out of it because you can grapple hook your way back up. So I'm just going to enclose it. And then we'll trap the crap out of it. Sounds like a good plan. So, yeah, the best thing you need to remember is everything can be undone. And if I don't like it at all, I can completely wipe everything, but that would be a lot of effort. And up top, in the top right, Aegis Brookside, inactive, level 1. Capacity is the one we're looking at, 552 of 2,500. So we still got lots of capacity left to put lots of traps and everything in there. Okay, so I want to make sure that we enclose everything that we set up to drop us. Make this drop room here. Okay, and I'm going to make it as big as possible. But I don't want them to get out of it into the other part of the dungeon, so I'm going to close it all off. So I want to make sure, okay, if I put one there, and there, there, and there, I think that's all of it. Oh, we have some over there. You know, definitely alternate between flying and walking to make sure that you're doing everything. Because sometimes when you're flying, you can't see everything. Okay, let's make... Oh, no, there's still a way out down here. Let's fix that. Okay. We are now in a contained room here. Okay. So now, they fall through here. But what do we want down here? I think one thing we want for sure is bombs. That seems like a nasty thing in an enclosed room. So let's go over to the traps again. Pick bombs. Put a bomb right there. What mods do I have on that? Just invisible till second wave. We don't need to be because the second wave's already gone off. So that would be a wasted points. So it's going to drop bombs in here. Okay. Okay, it's an enclosed room. So the bombs are going to be really frenetic, right? That's going to be bad news. Can bombs eject up? Yes, they can. I don't think so. Okay. What else do we need in here? I think what we need in here, let's make this where our main army is. So go to the build menu, go over to the guards. And this is a big room. What would be really bad in here? Flying dudes! would be really bad in here. So let's put one there. And hold down square to record his patrol. Okay, we want you to go like this, around the room, and back to there. Complete patrol. Let's take a see what he does. Okay, he flies around the room. Okie dokie. Well, those are nasty. So let's find a little cubby hole way down here to hide another one. There's a little cubby. I thought there was a little cubby hole down there. That's gonna be as close as we can get. Okay, let's put him down there. And so we'll put one in. It takes some time to get him to, like, there we go. Okay, he's facing the wrong way. Face forward. Put him in. And let's record a patrol for him, too. I want you to go out there, up, up, up. You can't go up. Cancel. We can't tell him to fly? Okay, well then record patrol. Record the patrol. Give me him! Record the patrol. Just come out to here. And autocomplete. All we need to do is get him to come out enough into the room that he sees them. Okay, so what else is bad? Well, cannoners is really bad. So let's go to another one. Let's grab a cannon dude. Cannon back. Want a cannon back girl. One right here. Okay, and he's facing into the room. Sounds good to me. Place that. I don't want him to walk around. I want him to stay on that right there. And be shooting into the room at them. And now, let's get a couple more. See, this is blowing a lot of points in here, but this is the main room. Let's get some regular shooters. Okay. Put one right there. Okay, sounds unpleasant, doesn't he? Okay, put him there. Then double tap X to get down. Augments. Let's have him blow up when he dies. This room is the room of explosions. If you fall down here, you're in for a... Which is the point. Okay. And now let's record a patrol for him. Have him go like this. And then like this. And turn around and go like this. Back to there. Okay, let's watch. See what he does. Okay. Now, in case they fall all the way down, they think they're safe down there. Let's put another one here. Again. Blow up when you're dead. And you come out to here. Turn around, go that way. And then go back. I don't want him to fall off. There we go. He runs around that. And then he comes back. Okay. I think that's almost enough. Almost enough. Where's our spiky floor? I think I have. Please tell me I've got the one. If I don't, I'm going to go buy it. Okay. This is where they drop down. So let's put a couple spikes where they fall down. Okay. Double X so I'm not flying anymore. Let's do a trap mod on this. Self-destruct. It blows up if you destroy it. This is the room of explosion. Okay. Now, we can't say test from start because we haven't got a start yet. But this room, this set of rooms right here, where the gen mat is death. And that's the plan. We need to get this to the start. And I want to lay a convoluted path. But there's so many bricks in here, what if I forget which way I wanted to go? So what we're going to do is go to the build menu, go over to props. And I'm going to select for that. I don't want something with lights on it. See, I really... Yeah. That doesn't have lights on it. That'll do. Let's use the... let's use the red grill. Red grill. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out the path I want to take on the existing bricks, and I'll connect them all up. So I want to go out here. So again, this doesn't cost you anything, but it does allow us to lay out the floor. Okay, this is not the entry. Where is the entry? The entry is over there. So we need to get over there. So we're definitely going to need an angle to come down there. So let's do that. Build menu, dig, back over to our bricks, change it to triangle shape, hold on L2, push left and right to rotate it until it's going in the right direction, and R2 to place it. Then build menu, back over to our decal stuff, go to that, put one there, there. We can't put one there. Oh, that's a problem. But you see, now it's already said, okay, now there's a working path. The little cube monkey can find his way. There's a problem, though. You can't build here, so I can't put a wall on the outside of this to block it in. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to remove the triangle. And then I'm going to go back to the build menu, over to the blocks, select the block I'm using. It's already in the right orientation, so I don't have to change it, and put it in. Then I'm going to go back to the build menu. There's a lot of flipping around, but this is just, you don't have to do this. I just find this an easier way to figure out where the heck I'm going. Okay, so now I can start laying these down. Okay, we don't want them to go there because I can't build a wall there. I need them to go here. So I need to fill in this hole. Okay, again, change the block to the type we want. There. And see, the little monkey always will take the shortest path. Well, we don't want him to go there, so I'm going to put a block right there so he doesn't go the wrong way. Not that it matters right now, but I'm just doing that for my peace of mind as well. So, there. Now, okay, we can do this. Go here, here, here. Nope, this is no good. Because if we go out here, again, we can't put the wall there. Or do we want that? Do we want them to walk out and a long walk around the back of the building? We don't want them to get there right away. We need to... The people need to have a little more fun. So we don't want them to do that. So let's remove these. And that means he's going to need to go under that, because we can't go over it either. So we need to put a triangle here to let him walk down. Our blocks, triangle shape. Again, it's in the right orientation already, so we don't need to worry about it. Okay. So you see how the monkey is going that way? No. We don't want to go that way. So we're going to put some blocks in. And now the path is once again broken. And the monkey is sad. Sad monkey. Okay, so I'm going to get back on the ground, switch back over to the floor tiles. Continue mapping out for my own brain the route that I'm going to take, because I'm not putting all the walls around it yet. I'm just making the path. Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now, what we want to do there is make it dip down. We might trap it later. We might trap it not. But it's one of those things that everybody expects it to be trapped. So I'm going to put a triangle down there. L2, left to rotate it. Triangle there. Then I'm going to go back to my props, tiles, continue tiling the floor for my own peace of mind, which way my path is going. Okay. Back to block. Yep, we want to go down there. Definitely. We want to go down the next one. Looks like there's a path out, so yes, we do. So push this block farther away from me. There. And then L2 and rotate. There. Go back to the build menu. See, because now it's already kind of confusing. Like, is it going that way? Is it going this way? But if I put these tiles down, I know exactly which way I'm going and that my brain has planned out this route. Turn that way. Come out into the sun. Okay. So we can get up easily over there. And that's the start. So we could just put a ramp right down there. But there's one more thing, right? There's the whoop, 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 whoop guy. Got to deal with that. Where was it? There it is right there. Okay, notice we put the wrong kind of tiles to it. Oh, and he's found a way. Life finds a way. The monkey has found a path that he thinks is going to work. Okay, so we've decided we're doing red tiles. So I'm going to pick up these ones. You don't have to be consistent on your flooring either. That is not a requirement. That's just a thing I do because it's, like I said, it's easy for me to figure out how this path is going if I have these. Now, we could do two things. We could make it a linear path and connect this over to our other one, or we could make it a branching path. I think we're going to make it a branching path so that you can come over here and get this if you'd like to, but you don't have to. But we're also not going to make it easy on you. Remember, you always want to leave the outside one for walls. Okay. I want to put walls there so they have to go in the entrance. So I'm going to switch over back to it. Because see, like, as you build things, then the design starts to inform how you're doing the rest of the design. So if I know we're going to have walls here, so I'll put a wall there, now he's going to be sad again. Put a wall there. This is the entrance. We want you to go this way. No way, but this way. And we're going to make sure they can go no way, but this way as we go. I'm going to put a block here, and I'm going to put blocks here. And I'm going to put blocks over here. So you can go both ways. This way leads you to the wobbly wobbly. But apparently it also finds a way all the way around this into our gen mat room. We don't want that. Or do we? Do we want it to be two different paths in? Maybe. But see, the thing, if you make two paths in, you've got to make traps in two different paths. Because you don't want one to be the freebie one. So I think this one is going to dead end here. It's to the wobbly wobbly, but nothing else. So we've got the path now. So he's going to come through here, you're going to go through here, you're going to have to swing around this wall this way, and you can come to the wall there. Okay, so let's get over to the tiles of flooring. That's not the one I picked. Cursor moved at the last second. That one. Okay. So now there, we've got that floor laid out. And see, I can see that floor is different than everything else. So I can see now where I need to put the walls without having to put the walls in yet. Because I'm just designing the path right now. What if, just spitballing here, what if we made the whoop whoop connect to the death room? Then there is two ways out, but they're actually not connected until you get the gen mat. That sounds like a good idea. That's a good innovation I thought of right there. Okay, so what I need to do then, I need a hole on that side. So this is the stuff, flying, go in, I need a hole down here on this side. So I think there is where it is. So let us knock a hole there. Does that let us get out all the way to the gen mat, or is this just a dead end? No, there's no way out of here. Oh, I lie, there is. There is. Okay, that's the hole we're going to leave. Okay. And so now, do you want that invisible? Yeah, let's make that a regular hollow cube. Pull it back so it's closer to me. There. It's regular hollow cube. So if you just ran in here and looked, it looks solid. Okay, and now let's fill in the spaces. Because we don't want people to get wandering all over the place. Fill in the spaces so we can only go... We get down here. It's very claustrophobic. What am I going to do? Lots of places for us to put traps, that's for sure. And there's the sunlight. Okay. So let's block off this part. Come out. Where are we? Close to wub wub. We're pretty close to wubbly wubbly. Okay. So we want to go into there. So let's close off all the places we don't want to go. And we want you to drop down into there. So we don't need to see that at all. Here, need one there, one there. And let's change this to triangle, spin it around, and flip it. So now there's a way in. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to the build menu to the flooring again. There. And let us get on the ground. Okay, then if you go this way, again, let's make it twisty and turny just so we can throw a trap or two in it. You don't want it to be easy. Sure don't want it to be easy. And then straight in there. Yeah, let's make it too wide. Why not? Okay. So now that means you can take this path along this side. It will get you there. We'll have to put some devious traps in here. So see, this is why I do the flooring, because then I know that this is the way you go this way, and then you go this way. And I don't have to put the walls up yet and maybe make a mistake, but it's easier to put flooring down or move it than to build all the walls and then realize, oh man, I put that in the wrong spot. Now I got to take all those walls out. Okay, that gets you into there, that drops down to there. We'll put some traps in there later. We've got the main trap at our gen mat and the death room underneath it. Now we need to get the path going to the right from the door being the actual quickest path to the gen mat. Okay, and because I've been putting the flooring down, I know where we were. Okay, so we want to go... Do we want to go down and then up? Do we want to go down in there? Down in there, around under that? And up, yes. Okay. So we want to go down. Can we make it all the way down there? I think so. So let's put a floor there. And then we got to switch to blocks. So you're seeing live trap making too, this dungeon making. This is, again, you don't have to do anything. If you don't like the tips I'm giving you, don't do it that way. Do it the way that works for your traps, your dungeon. Okay? Put a flat one there. Put another one there. Okay. Then switch over to the flooring. They call it props. All right, now we're going to call it flooring. It's props because we're going to use them in other ways too. And drop down. Okay, and then you go under here. How do we get up, out? We need to go back and around. So we need to go this way. So if we go over one more, let's use the terrain. Whenever we can use the terrain blocks that are built in instead of putting one down, do that because it saves you on your block count. And anytime you can save on your block count, more traps you can put in. And that's what the name of the game is, traps. Well, that's the name of the game is Meet Your Maker. You know what I mean. Okay, now see, here's another neat one. There's nothing supporting this. And I want to go up. So I'm just going to rotate, put one. I don't need to have a block underneath. And again, we're going to make use of the ones that are already here. pull it closer. Go like that. If we go this way, we can turn. And I think go up there. Let's go one more over. Come on, there. Switch to triangle, rotate it. There. Go up. Switch to regular block, there. And go that way. Again, like I'm trying to use the terrain as much as possible, just to save myself blocks. Okay. Now if we put one right here, like that, all of a sudden he's got a path. That's no good. That's no good, because that's the path right there. Okay. So you see the problem. I'll show you the problem. Like this works. This gets a path out, but right here is the edge. I can't build blocks there. So I can't build a wall here to keep people from just coming around. And we want them to go in our entrance. We want them to go in the way we want them to go in. So we need to fix that last bit. I think we're going to have to shift something. No. I got it. Brain work. Okay, let's take this out. Instead, right here, put it going that way. And change the regular block. There. Now it connects up. Okay. So I'm going to switch back to the flooring and make this all uniform floor. There. Okay, and now we're going to plan our path out and see how we like it. Yes, it can. Don't tell me it can't be placed there. Okay, comes around, goes down. Yes, it can. There. Comes down there. Turns over and goes this way. Goes this way. Comes up here. Comes around. Dip-de-doo. Goes up here. Goes up here. Goes around there. Goes up into the gen mat. Okay, we've got a path that works there. Just fly. See, and it's a fairly long path, too. Okay. But we can also choose to go this way. And if you go this way, following the path, you get to the extra treasure room. We're going to trap the crap out of. And then you have this convoluted, twisty, turny one. We can put lots of bolt traps and spike traps and stuff in there. And then you can go down here, drop down again, drop down again. You're in this little hidey hole here. Come along here. And go under there. That disappears. There's a way up into the underside. But you can only go there because all of the stuff above only happens once you've grabbed the gen mat. So you can get to the death room and clear it out before grabbing the gen mat. If you want to. There we have two paths. Try not to make just a single linear path, unless that's what you want to do. Like, you do what you want to do. That's the big thing about this. Build how you want to build it. Now, we've got paths that work. So let's brick this in. So we've got our path sealed up. Then we know how much points we have left, which is going to be probably still 1,000 to finish off the put more traps in. So you push the options menu, and then you get these options. So they tell you what they are. If you want to be earning gen mat and killing other players, you need to put it either active or overdrive. This one, you need to feel confident because you're going to lose gen mat when the players steal from you, but you get twice as much per kill. It's like you want to put that in a dungeon where you're getting a lot of kills. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of kills in this. I'll probably just make it active. But for today, the other thing you can do is set it to social. Now, the problem with social is you don't get anything for it. I don't get anything for you doing it. You don't get anything out of it. You don't get any resources. You don't get any gen mat. You don't get anything for it. But you can go specifically to my dungeon. So the username up in the top, capital Giark, or you can search under the name of it, which is Ages, Ages, space, Brookside, Brookside, capitalization matters. So if you type that with Ages Brookside with the A and the B lowercase, you're not going to find it. If you type Giark in, Giark without the capital G, you're not going to find it. But for now, I'm going to put this up social. So for today, you can go in and try out this dungeon that you just watched me build and see how you get on, knowing where everything is. And what I'm saying to you is you've watched me build this, knowing where everything is. That should mean you go through this dungeon and don't die once, right? You can make it with 0 deaths. I'll be checking the replays later because I can see the replays. Show me that you can do this. You know where all the traps are. You know exactly how to do it. Can you do it without dying?